Okay, we have audio. That's good. We have music. Also good. I don't know why that is like that. That's weird. There we go. Welcome in, everybody. Let's put this over here. Okay. Welcome in.
Hello.
Howdy, howdy. There we go. How you doing today?
Not terrible. My head's a little bit fuzzy, but I did do a lot today already. I've worked out and done some practice warm-up and a
Nice.
fair amount of adulting.
My current workout right now is walking a mile in the morning, and that's it.
There is no shame in that.
No, it's not enough. I need to do more.
My workout currently exists of about 20 minutes of like basic calisthenics because that's about all my body can handle right now. And it makes my calves super sore.
I used to be able to run a mile in like 6 minutes, and now it just I'm so old. No name welcome. Well.
That is what happens.
Yep.
We get old and everything falls apart, and we can no longer run a 6-minute mile.
I guess I think I weighed 165 when I did that, maybe 180. So I've put on like 50 pounds since I've done that.
That's a lot of extra weight to have to carry for running a mile.
I got the wave system set up for my game, and I have tiny monsters, big boy monsters, and ranged units.
Nice.
So that's fun. So like that's really fun. And then I was like, I need to update the inventory system so I can have like different rarities, and that like borked everything. So I was like, so it's a huge. I'm like, I'll do that this afternoon, and it's probably gonna be like a 3-hour cleanup process now.
Yeah.
So it goes. But we're getting somewhere, which is good.
Did I tell you about my game project Pivot?
No. Well, you said something about tiles last time we talked about it. So this is after that.
Yeah, this is after that.
Okay.
So I was having trouble. I was very specifically having trouble because I'm not great with coding, right? And my problem with coding is specifically the same problem that I have with most of the other things that I have problem with, which is language. Right? I don't know enough of the language to know what I need to do.
Sure.
So I found that I was wasting a lot of time having to
Learn the
try to figure out what I wanted, and I
Okay.
wasn't really getting. I wasn't really managing to piece together all of the pieces that I wanted to actually make my game happen with the tutorials that I was finding for how to program in Godot. So what I've done is I've kind of reversed things, and I went with a different game idea because I was able to find basically all of the. I was able to preload all of the YouTube tutorials for how to code in order to get the project I want. So now I'm doing a tower attack card builder roguelike, kind of like Slay the Spire.
Okay.
But it's
Cactus
yeah,
Folk Wizard
but
with a big
long
needle.
story short, that's yeah. Long story short, that's like that is the game that I pivot to, and long story short, it's going significantly better because I actually have all of the coding laid out for me. I just have to follow it and figure out
Nice.
what it's doing.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Is you said a few things that you said tower attack,
Yep.
and then you said slay the spire.
Yeah, it's a
Card-based
a
roguelike.
deck builder roguelike.
Okay. I guess tower attack makes sense for slay the spire. You're like pushing to a place. Is that what that means? I've never heard that term before.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I don't think it's a real term.
Okay.
My brain wasn't totally functioning because I was doing three things, and so I pulled that out of my ass.
okay. Yeah, because when you say tower, that makes me think like tower defense.
Yeah.
Let's give Rugby some funny eyebrows. That's cool. Card games are interesting, and I like them. Like
Yeah.
deck builders are really fun. And one of my friends is building a board game, and he wants to use cards. And I'm like, sweet, we make a deck builder. And he's like, no, it's not a deck builder. And I was like, then why are we using cards? I'm like, what's the purpose? So there's the complexity that always stops me from wanting to build a deck builder is like managing the decks. It's very complicated.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I can help you with that. If I can, I will. I have no idea how to do it. So I've been looking at that for my game too, about looking at game management. Like when someone plays the game, how do we track their progression?
Uh-huh.
Player profiles. So that's the next step I have to look at too. Yeah, character pass through, going from like selecting your character and then keeping their stats between worlds is another thing that I've had to look into a little bit. And it's complicated.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Oh, kid's awake. Be right back.
Hey, Corvus, welcome in.
Hello.
Rook just took off to see the child, who just woke up.
All good.
Ellie says my favorite game is a deck builder called Core Worlds. It's also a Tableau type game. I'm gonna write that down because I'm still looking at system inspiration itself. Truth is, I don't play a lot of deck builders, and so it's like the hardest part about pivoting to my new game project is figuring out what all the genre, what all is already included in the genre, and what the market could potentially bear within the genre. How are you doing since I talked to you earlier, Corvus?
I'm alright.
I went back and looked more at the concept art you shared with me.
Uh-huh.
The Corvids specifically.
Yeah,
What's
the
their
Antivan
faction?
Crows.
Yeah, the Antivan
The
Crows.
the assa the assassin the Assassin Theater kids.
Yeah, they really are just bards playing rogue.
Yeah, they are. So they're just like they're a very public guild of assassins in the
Mm,
game,
mm-hmm.
and like you kind of hire them not so much to be subtle. Like
Yeah,
they can be subtle if they really had to be, but like they're very much like if you want to like send like a public message, you hire a crow to take care of someone very
gotcha.
publicly.
That's pretty funny actually. We're talking about Dragon Age chat, by the way.
Yep. So they have very outlandish costumes.
I Yeah, I went back to look at them because I really like the cape designs on all of them.
Hmm.
They are, of course, just all like feathered wing design split capes or half capes. But
Hmm. I think the most ridiculous one I've seen in that little collection is the one that's walking around on stilts with really long swords.
yeah, that one reminds me of like if an assassin decided they were going to advertise they were an assassin at Carnival,
Yep.
which I mean, I'm not saying it's a
I'm...
bad idea. Just
like they do have more understated ones, but yeah, they're higher up you go, more outlandish the people get.
yeah. Yeah, cold fancy boys.
Yep.
Well, that's no fun. Cold, welcome in. Elliot, welcome in. I have a angry screaming baby for no reason, so we'll see how that goes.
Knock on wood, I can't hear him.
Yeah, I'm trying to get him to sleep in his bed,
Hmm.
and so he's just pissed off and screaming at me. If I go in there and hold him, then he screams in my ear, which is not great.
How can you abandon me?
The only thing he wants is for me to lay down on the bed and let him lay on top of me. And if I don't do that, he gets mad. So
That is very cute, but also
yeah,
uh
it is
not
11:30.
conducive to
It is his nap time,
Mm.
so we will see how it goes. I'll give him another couple minutes and I'll go check on him again. But he's not happy right now. Not happy.
No Name and Cold both had suggestions in the chat.
I think I got no names, which is the cactus, right?
Yeah, Cactus Folk Wizard with a big needle beard.
Yeah, I got that one.
Cold suggested they're right under a wild skull-faced burb. Oh no, never mind.
Oh no, I believe that was referring to me.
Gotcha. Sorry, nope. That's what I get for only half reading the chat. Sorry.
Because I can turn on Corvus's little dupe.
Christopher Tomlinson asks what the prompt is. Well, we're just warming up yet,
Yep.
or so far. No prompt started yet.
Yep.
I'm gonna give him one more shot to chill out, and then I'll be right back. And then we'll be back. We'll draw something.
All right, sounds good.
Give me 1 second.
Just for clarity in the chat, that is Rook dealing with a child. I am co-host, I guess. Blue is Druid, and I'm drawing. I'm gonna say it's a twig leshy or vine leshy, something like that.
Tiny plant person.
I watched the only about the first half of the Geek and Sundry Pathfinder Kingfall or Godfall
Godfall?
game.
Yeah.
Yeah, the where
I'm
with
not.
Mercer and Felicia Day and a like truly an all-star cast.
I think I saw that Matt's playing a kobold?
Yeah, Matt's playing a kobold, and then there's 2 elves and 2 half elves. Felicia was playing like an angry Russian disaster lesbian elf,
Nice.
which was very funny to me. There was also a Leshy in there, and the voice that was chosen to play for the Leshy, kind of the thing that made it hard for me to watch. Which is why I've only seen half of it so far. But
Very high, raspy, squeaky voice.
yep.
Yep.
I'm not saying it's not accurate for what I think a Leshy would or could sound like. I'm just saying it was kind of a lot, and I was not expecting it.
Yep. You brought the girls. I'm now looking at the other stuff I sent you. I really like the Mornwatch stuff. They're an interesting faction.
Hmm.
They're from a place called Navarre where necromancy isn't just legal, it's like a cultural treasure sort of deal.
Yeah.
Like everyone is mummified and like has like a little wisp planted in their corpse after they're gone. And
Nice.
turns out that their current king is undead. And it's kind of an open, dark secret. It's like, that's why that old geezer has been kicking around for way too long.
I love it.
I don't know how intelligent of an undead he is, but it's just like...
Warhammer teaches us that you don't need a sentient undead god emperor. You just need, if all you need is the figurehead.
Yep. Because one of your companions, he's a Morn Watcher, and you can ask him about it, and he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And he's like, fine, yes, it's true, but we have nothing to do with it. He has his own necromancers to take care of it. Welcome back, Rick.
Hey. I'm super upset. I went to change
No
his kid's
success?
diaper and he almost passed out while I was changing his diaper. And then when I put him back on the bed, he just flipped his shit. Xanderfell, welcome in. How is it a secret if it's open?
Well, it's like an open secret. Like, officially, it's not true, but everyone knows it to be true.
I guess I missed something.
So it's something I was talking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
There in Dragon Age, there is a king of this place called Navarra, and it turns out he's undead.
Ah, gotcha. Everyone knows, but
And
nobody
it's
talks
kinda
about
like-
it.
Exactly.
Okay. I rolled a 1.
At least everyone knows in that country. I don't know about outside it.
Alligator,
That's-
snapping
yeah.
turtle, unarmed barbarian is what I'm gonna draw.
Cool.
Kid just got really quiet. 1 second.
Uh-oh.
He's either asleep and it's totally okay, or chaos is ensuing.
I also like the whole aesthetic that they decided to go with the Mornwatch. There's lots of like hexagons, and it's almost, I don't say Art Deco, but kind of in that
it's
direction.
it's very graphic, right?
Mm-hmm. Because like outside of like, there's a lot of like just anatomy stuff that they do because they're like, of course they're gonna know all about the anatomy, but it's like, I don't know, they kind of incorporate a lot of it into the designs of everything.
Mm.
Apparently, also most of them are vegetarian for some reason. Just vegetarianism is just a common thing for them.
Interesting.
Uh-oh.
Yep. I don't know if you guys heard that in the chat, but we got just a little bit squeak of screamy child.
Yep.
In the Discord.
I walked in, I calmed him down, I put him on the floor, and he's just screaming at me again. So, might be a muted stream for me.
Mm. Well, Corvus and I can talk about Dragon Age.
Yep.
I want to go back and look more at the what was the treasure?
The Lords of Fortune.
The Lords of Fortune, yeah. It is. I mean, like, it's not surprising. I really like their design, right? It's a minimal clothing, tropical, highly decorative, aesthetic.
Literally
going
wearing
on
your
there.
treasure on you.
Yeah, yeah, and that's like, it's done really well. I really like it.
The guy that I've brought up a few times who's doing like the Dead Gods thing on
Yep.
YouTube.
Yep.
He was one of the concept artists. He's not the only one, but he did a lot of like the early concept art for a lot of the game. Actually, a lot of their games. Like, I think from 2 to now, he's been in charge. Or done a lot of them.
Cool. You know what? I think I can see that in a lot of the concept art.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody asked why I'm doing raptor pose hands on this. Because I am, and I don't care. Is this for a new Dragon Age video game coming out, or the TTRPG, or just general lore? Elliot asks.
Oh, the concept art I was sharing with Druid earlier was from the newest game, Velgard.
Yeah. I've never actually played a Dragon Age game.
I like them, but I understand that some people may not like them.
I actually think it's a game that might be up my alley. I just have never gotten around to playing one.
Have you ever played like Mass Effect or the Star Wars, the Old Republic games?
I have played. I did play KOTOR a little bit. Not the other one, but like I do really like RPGs.
Okay, because I was gonna say it's very like story and character choice oriented. No, we'll say from what I've seen of the gameplay of Velgard, like it's actually pretty nice. They actually tried to make combat pretty good.
That's nice.
Because in the past it was just like kind of just holding down the button as you
Yep.
auto attack, and like occasionally cycle in abilities. So
All right, that's good enough for a warm up. I suppose I'll actually save this one. I haven't been saving my warm ups lately. I'm in a place with my art where like my skill doesn't match my what I want to make. So I'm in this kind of uncomfortable I need to grow more, I need to work harder sort of place. And I have not been doing it in a healthy way, so I've been backsliding and my drawing's been getting worse, actually. Or maybe it's not actually getting worse. Maybe I just think it is. I feel that way constantly, Druid. Yeah, Elliot gets me. There's like there's always so much give and pull with this sort of creative pursuit, and sometimes it's really fucking frustrating. Okay, what am I rolling? It looks like we've got 13. So I'll roll a d10 and a d1, or a d4. 9. Lizard folk, were lizard fish warlock.
what?
It's okay, so a lizard fish is
Oh,
actually a type of fish. It's a lizard folk that is a were lizardfish warlock. My imagination is outpacing my ability by miles. Yeah. Yep. Okay, Synodontidae, or lizardfishes. Estuarine bony fish that belong to the blah, 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 fish order. Let me find a cool one. They really are just fish that look like they've got a lizard's head.
For some reason, I'm kind of just picturing like a wolf fish.
I'll put it here in the live stream chat. This is a deep sea one, and both horrifyingly eldritch and goofy looking.
Oh. It almost looks like an eel
Yeah, it does.
mixed
a
with
little
a
bit.
barracuda.
Yeah. This is a reef lizardfish.
I'll be right back.
Yep. Okay. I think I know what I'm gonna do. Except for the warlock part. How am I gonna get warlock in there? I always have them holding an eldritch blast.
Never mind. I thought someone was honking at me.
Okay. I got a lizardfish. I suppose I need a lizard. Oh. Okay, so this is a Mojave fringe toad lizard. Sorry, chat, you're not going to be able to see it in YouTube. But, native to
The
the
lizard is
southwest.
trying to riz people.
Yeah, native to the southwestern United States. This is a funny looking little bugger. All right. I'm doing it. Still haven't decided what I'm going to do for the warlock bit yet. This lizardfish, hooked jaw sort of thing going on. Big old chunky lizard shovel jaw. Big dead soulless fish eyes. Chat, you guys want to give me a subclass for a warlock? That might help me get details.
Or the suggesters here in the chat.
Yeah, is this? I don't know. Is this suggester here in the chat? We never have the names.
Yep.
Proportions on that jar of real funky. I'm gonna have to probably redraw it, but I want to get the torso in here first.
Going briefly back to when I mentioned Art Deco, I'll say the Antivan furniture stuff that they have in game is very Art Deco.
Yeah, it is. It's very blocky. And the winged figure,
Looks like the
Figures
Rolls
flanking that
Royce.
fireplace. Yeah, very much so.
Come join the Discord and see what I'm posting.
With it being a lizard, seems like a potential patron, maybe dragon. Maybe. It's also. It could also be an eldritch entity because it's a were fish.
Or, because they don't get brought up a lot, a genie patron. Their patron's a water genie.
Yeah, that's possible. It's been so long since I've played 5e. What are the warlock subclasses? I know there's Pact of the Blade.
Apparently I was muted. Sorry. Um,
You're good.
I was gonna say here's the perfect one. I kind of forgot about the Fathomless patron.
Oh, Fathomless patron. That's pretty good.
Yeah, patrons you got Archway, Celestial, Fathomless, Fiend, Genie, Great Old One, Hexblade, Undead, and Undying. Though everyone kind of ignores the Undying.
Not a very good one.
It was in their one of their first books outside the player's handbook, and a lot of those weren't great.
Yeah. No name suggests Archfey because of the animal lords. Fathomless is like deep ocean, kind of eldritch horror, kind of
Krakeny.
yeah, Krakeny sort of. I think if you watch Critical Role season 2, I think that Ukatoa was a Fathomless.
I think so, for at least for some of his warlocks. I know with Ford, he because Travis wanted to use the Hexblade, he went with Hexblade. Patron.
Yeah. But Ford also ended up with both of these. Well, the Pact and the Patron are distinct, aren't they?
Yes. But
They're like they're-
Hexblade is a patron.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yes. But there is also Pact of the Blade.
Okay. Gotcha.
I think the pirate lady may have had the fathomless stuff.
Okay, because I remember Ford also early on had both of the spells that you get on the Fathomless spell list. Great Destroy Water and Thunderwave.
Yeah.
So I
They
don't
may
I
have
don't know if they
Yeah.
I don't know if they might have done some moving around and finagling as things progressed,
hmm
especially since Ford became afraid of his patron, understandably.
And like abandoned the pact and literally had no class for like an episode.
Yep. Thanks, Atomic. I appreciate that. Atomic Sorcery just gave me all of the pacts. Blah, 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 blah.
Okay. I don't know how long this will last, so we'll see what happens. Do I consider Hero Forge creation as art? That's a gray area. Because it's more like collaging than it is like sculpting, if that makes sense.
I consider it putting it together a puzzle.
Yeah, I mean, like, so there's kit bashing, right? Like, kit bashing is interesting.
Yep.
But like, I think the issue and like the question feels dubious to me. And so I hope you're asking this in good faith. So there is an art to it, but you have to like basically caveat it with it being what it is, right? Like, here's my Hero Forge model. That's fine. You can share those. But you can't be like, look, I made this thing, because it's not technically all your art. So yes and no. It's a weird gray area. There's artistry in it. There's creativity in it. There's uniqueness in it. But if you tell somebody that, oh, look at this model I made, it's like, well, it's a kit basher.
Yeah.
It's like
You did an amount of designing on it, and nobody's going to take that away from you. But,
yeah. It's just like using a character creator, right? Like, there's a lot more creativity in it than there is like making a World of Warcraft character. But like, people love showing off their Final Fantasy and World of Warcraft characters too. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Just, you have to keep it in context of what it is. Don't go to a forum where people are drawing their like doing D&D commissions and be like, hey, I also do commissions but with Hero Forge. And it's like, I guess you could do that, actually. Like, not saying it out loud, like, you could do that, but you have to be honest that it's Hero Forge, and I think people would realize that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now you say that, I wonder if there are people who do like, send me a character design, I'll make a mini for you.
Right. And I mean, that's kind of the argument with AI too, right? Like, there is something to be said for people that know how to functionally use those tools. But you're not going to be doing like professional concept art with Hero Forge.
Yeah, no.
Because it's not your work. Oh no, I never hide this. And like an example I can put up is I used to post a lot on r/character drawing, and basically they had to put a rule in of like, hey, no Hero Forge, because people would just spam the Reddit with, look at all these characters I made, and it's like, this is for people who are digitally or traditionally drawing characters. This is not the place for Hero Forge models, just like it's not the place for World of Warcraft models. So
there's probably a Reddit subreddit for that type of thing. So
just likewise, if you went to a sculpting forum and posted it there, they would barbecue you.
And you would deserve it.
Kid, what's going on? He's just insanely tired, and now he's worked himself into a fit, and now he's just exhausted.
I see.
Spicy is right.
Why is it spicy?
Do y'all know about the paper dragons in D&D? I've actually drawn a few of them. Yeah. It's a paper doll tool set. Exactly, yeah. So now if you create the paper dolls, that's different, right? Like that would be the artist. And then would say there is artistry in putting together paper dolls. Does that make sense? So same thing with Hero Forge.
This could very easily slot directly into the ancient age-old argument of art versus craft.
That's true, yeah. There is something about that. And do you think painting miniatures is an artistry or a craft? I think that might be a craft.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point.
As a traditionally educated artist, that is where I would place it.
That's an interesting way to look at it, because there's still artistry in craftsmanship, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But you are taking something that pretty much anybody could have and doing something with it. So that's cool. I like that. That's a good way to look at it. You awake now? Awake now, not screaming? Here, you want this? Oh, kid.
Oof.
I'm just thinking of all the crazy Warhammer models I've seen painted up and kind of kit bashed together, and just like, no, they're not crafting, they're artists. They might not be making the medium, but they are doing something with it that goes beyond just putting it together.
Yeah, and that's like what you are describing is
right?
Yeah, absolutely. What you are describing, Corvus, is the non-defined line between art and craft.
Yeah.
And that is what I'm talking about when I say the age-old discussion of what is art and what is craft.
Yeah. And I think to clarify that even more, like that's kind of what I was saying with, if you bought a Gundam model, right?
Yep.
And you put it together as you instructed, decals, paint, you're good to go, right?
Yep.
That's cool, and like it's beautiful, and it takes some artistry and some craftsmanship to do that.
Yep.
But then if you're taking kit bashing and you are basically adding, this is what I would consider artistic flair to it, like making decisions, putting your own filter through it to like make it a new thing, that is more artistry than a craft, I think.
Yeah.
And so that's why...
Same thing with Legos.
Yeah, same thing with Legos, right? If you just build the Lego kit, it's craft. But if you build your own things, it goes into artistry. And with Hero Forge, because it's all just selecting what you want anyways. That's why I think it's a little bit of a gray area, because like you are building something new from previously used kits. So there is the artistry in that. And I want to give people credit for doing that, because it's cool. It's cool to be able to do. And I think people who, don't want to draw or can't draw, feel like they can't draw, using that tool to make their characters is 100% legitimate, and I'm fine with that. Like, right?
Yeah.
I think it's great. And people can make their minis. It's awesome. The problem comes when people take it as and compare it to modelers and illustrators, because it's like, it's not the same. It's a different kind of thing. It's a different medium. It's not the right place for that medium. So
Yeah.
the difference between sampling a sandwich at Subway and cooking, I guess, that feels a little too far, because then you're having somebody else put it. Are you a sandwich artist if you work at Subway? I don't know.
And like that's like your title, isn't it? Like
I think it is,
artist?
yeah. Is
that
that
doesn't
insulting
mean
to cooks?
anything.
I know, but still.
Corporate titles are all bullshit.
Which, so rad. So wait, so if I wanted to share a miniature, where would you send that in Discord? You can put it in the art share if you want. That's fine.
Yeah.
Hero Forge is Subway, essentially. But like, I would argue the Subway is a bad example, because one, it's very limited, and it's someone else making your sandwich. So,
It's also incredibly cheap.
Yeah.
Like it is engineered to be the cheapest, lousiest. Trying not to curse. It's engineered to be as bulletproof and lucrative for the company as possible.
So yeah, let's step away from that example, because I think that is a bad example. Here's the real. I said that you might have been asking that in bad faith, because this is a hot topic, right? Like, this is something that a lot of people on Reddit have yelled and screamed about. And really, what I think the biggest part about it is if you are a kit basher, great. That is a skill set. That's why it's a craft, but you're doing artistry in it. Versus someone who builds their own pieces to add to the collection, right? Like, that to me is like the pinnacle of it, right? Which you just can't do with Hero Forge, because Hero Forge is basically, it's set in stone. If you start adding 3D elements to it from Blender and whatnot, then that's where I would consider you like a true artisan, a real 3D modeler. So if you're using those things to make cool art, great, yes, 100%. But don't compare yourself to the modelers and people who create the pieces. That's all I have to say. And the big reason I get kind of touchy about it, wow, kid.
Yep, he doesn't like it either.
Jesus, child.
I'm not sure if this is exactly what Rook was going to say, but the reason why it's important to make the distinction is because the people who kit bash something and then take all of the credit and don't give any credit to the people who wrote the files, designed all of the base pieces, and figured out how to make them all fit together so you could build your character on Hero Forge. So you're basically plagiarizing their work in the same way that people who train their AI on stolen artwork are plagiarizing.
Yeah. That's like where my thought was like going, or was that I just don't want to bring it in because it's always a hot topic issue, and I'm just like, I don't want to touch that.
Fair.
Sorry, the kid took away the pen, and I took it away from him, and he lost his shit. So I think Drew was going in the right direction, but I missed the last part of it. So let me just add this: the issue that I had.
The kid took away and then you totally cut out.
Oh, sorry. So Discord just died. So the argument itself is not invalid, right? Like, you can totally you can say, yeah, it's art. That's totally fine. the issue I have, and the issue people have on Reddit, is a good example of this is anime. Crap, what's it called? Anime Studio. Circa 15, 20 years ago.
Uh-huh.
It was basically a whole bunch of 3D models, pre-rigged, pre-built, ready to go, and then you could animate them, make them dance. Okay, which that's cool.
Right.
Like that's a neat, fun little toy and or tool to make cool animations in. The problem is people then promoted that as look at what I did. I'm a great artist, when really they've only put in the animation. They've only put the animation into this huge project that took a lot of time to build, mesh, model, rig, build the program, right? Like build all of those things have to go into that to let people do that. And then people put this on the internet and like, check out this cool thing I made. It's like, it's a cool thing you animated. That's the big difference, is that people have you have to clarify what you're doing, because there's so many other people that need credit for what like got you to that point. Hero Forge is amazing for what it is. Hero Forge is amazing, and making cool characters in it is awesome. Do that, great.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Basically, don't pick up a toy someone else made, play with it, and say, "You did this. I did this."
Yeah, right. You did this me. That's exactly what it is. So that's it. That's why whenever people ask me that question, I feel like they're trying to basically bait me into getting upset. But that's really the clarification that needs to happen. So what if it's artsy and the other is art? Exactly. Yeah. Like it's totally chill. Not a bad thing. Cool thing to do.
Yep.
People on the internet are dicks about it and like to rile people up about it. So
an important conversation to have.
Yeah.
As I said, it is an age-old conversation. If you've been here for a while, you know that I studied ceramics and sculpture, and guess what? For most of contemporary history, ceramics has not been considered an art. It has been considered a craft, and it has been gate-kept hard.
Mm-hmm. And I think the artistry of it comes out when people start finding like unique and fun ways to play with it, right? Like that's that's the same thing with Hero Forge. If you can find a really cool way to make a character, that's artistry. That's awesome. Well done. You took a tool and used it in a way that people weren't expecting. And that's the same thing with like kit bashing for like photos, right? Like if you're just taking like, I took a tractor and now it's a mech, it's like, okay, but it's still just a tractor. Right? Like, yeah, thanks for clarifying. I've posted the miniatures. I don't claim the art, but the Hero Forge models. Yeah, we can take a look at those. This kid is losing his crap. So
one more thing to be totally fair to you for post to anybody who's going to post Hero Forge stuff. It's pretty easy to tell that it's Hero Forge.
Yeah. Once again, it's a self-regulating thing, right? Like that's all there is to it.
So like my point in bringing that up is you don't necessarily have to go out of your way to like worry about all of the nuance for this, because people generally understand that you've made a thing in Hero Forge, and like people are generally smart enough. You don't have to freak out and be like, I'm not trying to plagiarize this. I like credit to the artists or whatever. Just say I made this and I put this together in Hero Forge.
Yeah. I love seeing Gundam kit bashes, by the way. Oh, they're so good.
They can they are very cool. As someone who does not like Gundam, they are actually very cool. I've never enjoyed watching the anime.
I just know Gundam as being another pricey hobby that people have.
Yeah, but like in my mind, and from everybody I've talked to who participates in actually buying and putting together Gundams, it's like they feel like it's way more worth it than Warhammer.
Yeah, I think part of that is the scale of things, as most Gundam are at least, I don't know, maybe 5 inches tall.
Yeah. There's also a quality thing. The Gundams are usually made out of pieces that you basically would have to I forgot what the molding process is called. Injection. You basically would
Yeah.
have to hot injection mold and mold them, and they are like incredibly high quality. Whereas Warhammer stuff, like you probably get like you can buy a resin printer for the same amount that you would pay for a mini,
Mhm.
and you'll get the same amount, or like you'll get the same quality of product out of it if you print your own.
Yeah, that's kind of one of the many issues with Warhammer minis is you never
Like,
know, like, because some of the new ones are hot
yeah,
injection
yeah,
models. Um, but there's also plenty of like just really bad resin models, and I think there's like still like some models that are like based off the old metal cast. Like they're like plastic, but like they were cast
really.
from the old metal ones,
Like that old,
and so
that
they're super
not
chunky.
updated. Oh yeah.
That's kind of like the issue with a lot of like the Eldar from 40K is a lot of them are using the old metal models, but just are now plastic,
Hmm.
and like no one likes them.
Yeah, which the because that feels like they really cheaped out when you spend, I don't know, a couple of thousand on a set of them.
That much, but yeah.
The lizard fish face will haunt my dreams. You're welcome, no name.
What was it? Oh. Like, I think the only time I would want to like I don't know, once every 10 years, if I had the money, I would buy one model from Warhammer. Now, probably one to be the bigger models, just like
Yeah,
because like, they seem like an actual nice project to put together instead of like a chore for me, the little mini ones.
yeah. Yeah, having to paint an entire infantry unit for what to play Warhammer, like that seems
Mhm.
incredibly tedious to me.
Especially like depending on your army. Like, so if you're playing Skaven, you just need the models are relatively cheap for Warhammer, but you
Yep.
need so many of them.
Yeah.
So that cheapness kind of just goes out the window when you need like 50 or 60 models to have like a cheap army.
Yep.
And then the inverse is if you have like playing an army that's like large, so there's like giant models, and it's like so you're basically almost paying the same amount for like a Skaven army, but you only have like 5 models that you
Yep.
use in the fight. I was like, oh, this feels weird.
Anyway, I did not intend for this to become a Warhammer complaint thing.
I mean,
So
I turned it
we'll
into
move
it
on.
basically.
Yeah, well, we can move on then. I'm still not exactly sure how I'm gonna make this actually read as Warlock. Because I'm giving him big old creepy lizardfish hands. Gotta get the webbing in here.
I'm so tired.
Oh no.
Um,
He really won't stop, huh?
no, like he just did. Like I went in there and I picked him up, and he just like okay, and he like put his head on my shoulder, started falling asleep. I was like, perfect. So I sat down, and he started falling asleep. I thought he fell asleep, so I tried to move my arm out from underneath him, and he just like, fuck you! Ah! And now he's riled himself back up again. So we'll see what happens. It's like I can easily calm him down, but if I don't do exactly what he wants, he loses his shit. So I don't know. I gave him some prune juice. Maybe he needs to poop. Sorry, that was.
I need healing.
I'm at my wit's end here, so we'll see what happens.
I'm sorry. That sounds very frustrating.
I don't think he's tired. I mean, he's tired. He is tired, but like, I think he's juiced himself with adrenaline so much that he's not going to sleep until he just crashes. So now it's a matter of just waiting it out. Yesterday I went in the bedroom with him and I put him down and he was like, "No, I want you to stay here." And I left and he cried for like 3 minutes and then just passed out. I was like, "Cool. We've solved it." Apparently not. Apparently he's onto my game now.
Not that easy today.
I might have to like dip out because
Okay.
I can hear the screaming and it's just a little.
So, well, let me mute myself.
No, no, it's fine. It just the way he is screaming this time is a little upsetting for me.
Yep. I get it.
Me as well.
I am sorry. This was not a dig at you.
Oh, I suppose I should put the lizardfish tail on the lizard tail. Or something like it.
He'll do
Yeah, I'll just-
he'll do pauses. Like he'll stop and he'll be like, "Huh? Huh?"
Yep.
And see if I'm
You're
coming.
right.
And then he'll just immediately "Rah!"
Yep. You coming? No? Fine then. Fuck you.
Yeah, I think happy thoughts, kid. Happy thoughts.
The dumbest part of this is like the door is open. He can get off the mattress. He's just staying there screaming. It's like you could come out here. There's nothing stopping you, kid. You're right there.
Purely dedicated to
Mm-hmm.
this.
He's just pissed off. He's just pissed off. Ugh. Thank you, Rad, for the water. I'm gonna go actually fill up my water glass and check on the kid, and then I'll come back.
Yep.
Alright, I think I got the werefish lizard.
Thing.
Still not sure about the warlock.
Tentacle arm. But you've already drawn the arms.
Tentacle arm. Need shadow. Pop the hand out. That did not help. That's a little bit better. There is always Eldritch Blast.
Eldritch Blast. So have you been watching Sam's little short campaign, Jared?
I have not. I've honestly I've seen some of some clips of Brennan's Chaos Frog character, and that has literally made me too afraid to watch.
He's such an it's like such a nerd character.
Yeah, it's Brennan is playing himself.
Yep. Admin.
Okay, he's got a green
Such a
beam,
great
which has
name.
apparently been satiated. I mean, I'm sitting right here with him. He seems fine. I walked into the bedroom, and he was just sitting on the corner of the bed, just like screaming at the door. I was like, why? What are you doing?
Can you be normal?
All right, Brooke, give me ideas. How do I make this thing look like a warlock?
Tattoos.
Tattoos is a good idea.
Tattoos are a good one. Cursed items. Glowing eyeballs like it's possessed by something. Otherworldly energies. Thanks for hanging out today, everybody. I appreciate it. This has been a long, horrible day so far.
I don't think is there any good news to share?
Starfinder core is coming out soon. That's exciting. Patreon rewards went out. I ran out of envelopes, so I had to buy new envelopes this morning. That's always an exciting day. I like envelopes. I don't know.
You say Starfinder 4?
I think it's just called the core. I think they're calling Starfinder Core.
Oh, the core rulebook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I assume it's
comes out in
2E.
August.
I don't know what.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're. I don't know how they're doing that, right? Like, because Starfinder
So
is
it is
its own thing.
So it's using the 2E system.
Okay.
So it's completely compatible. The only thing that that's really kind of being introduced with Starfinder is tech weapons, which require batteries.
Okay.
Yeah, they've literally gone out of their way to make sure that you can play Starfinder and Pathfinder in the same universe. You can basically spelljammer it.
Yeah. And
which I appreciate.
So the core rulebook, I guess also GM's guide for it, comes out in August or at the end of July. One of the two, I can't remember. But next month, its first book comes out, which is not the core rulebook.
That's weird.
It's called the Galaxy Guide, which is kind of just to get people introduced to the system overall. And so it's kind of I guess the world guide.
Yeah, I was gonna say, get you introduced to the universe and stuff without.
Mm-hmm. And there's gonna be GM stuff, player stuff. There's I think
Yeah, kid.
6 new ancestries and some archetypes.
Now you're just a happy
Apparently
kid.
there's Space Hell Knights. I didn't know.
Damage my eardrums. Did you say Space Hell Knights?
Yes. Apparently Hell Knights have made it into space and they have an archetype.
I mean, you gotta chase the demons wherever they go. That's all I'm saying.
It's true. It also totally tracks because Starfinder has always been about play whatever space opera or weird space setting you can possibly think of in this system.
So they I think for the next few weeks before I don't think it's PaizoCon. It may be it's Gen Con. So for for next like couple weeks they're doing like a Starfinder post until Galaxy Guide comes out.
A holy symbol or dragon
So, like-
eyes on the chest. Hellstronaut? Isn't that what we just said? What's a Hellstronaut?
That's probably why they came up with the name.
Kid, do not bite that. What are you doing? What are you doing? Are you still hungry? You want to draw?
So like next week they'll go over character creation.
You gonna draw? You have crayons. You want your crayons? Your crayons?
Crayon.
Would you like a booster seat for your green child?
It's a grown ass goblin.
I'm actually the oldest of the group. Oh, well, my question still stands. Would you like a booster seat?
This is one of the captains in the Starfinder Society.
Awesome.
Gorilla alien centaur thing.
Would be a hard
A
tattoo.
mech suit.
Dragon eyes on a chest would be a hard tattoo.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Whatever, it's not screaming, it's fine.
As long as it's happy noises.
I was thinking. Let's see.
I'm gonna turn my mic down. So if I need to talk, I'm gonna have to yell into it. Let me know how that goes. Maybe it's time to actually like hook up the mic stand again. I think I'm gonna call this one good. I did a lot on it, even though it took me an hour.
Yeah.
So it could have been a lot more to it, but it is what it is.
Well, it's not entirely your fault.
Yeah. My shirt is just covered in baby snot and tears. I'll be right back.
Is the nature of the beast. we're getting somewhere.
Are you sure?
Yeah. I mean, it's Innsmouth adjacent, but we're still getting there. Given the prompt, I doubt anybody is surprised this is where I ended up.
This will be the death of me. All right. Rolling dice. A human druid ranger wearing a deer skull with a mane of leaves. That's cool.
Sounds right up your alley, too.
Yeah.
Heck, you may have a real life reference in your room somewhere.
Mm. Does that somewhere end with enchilada nacho fries? What did I miss?
I said we were getting somewhere
Ah.
with my drawing. I don't think so. I think it ends with seal flipper pie.
Are you from Newfoundland?
No. But that's where this feels like we're going. To me.
Deer don't have teeth. Or front teeth, right?
I don't think so.
Is it like a chew plate or something?
Yeah, I think so. Just like most cows.
Let's see. Deer skull.
Not that deer are exactly the same as cattle, but they're very similar.
Ungulates.
Yeah, it looks like they have a row of teeth on the bottom jaw.
Yeah, they got like... I think they have the plate, and then this, and then this, and then this. Ooh. They're so much creepier than I gave him credit for.
So all skulls are.
Deer antlers should be forward, not back.
Huh?
Directionally, like where the antlers sit,
Yeah.
they should be above the head, not behind it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. I think I think I get what you're saying, and I think you're right.
References in chat.
Yep. I hate it when I'm drawing and like eating a snack because I don't realize that I've eaten the whole thing. It's like, dang it. Where'd all my jerky go?
Sounds like he realized he was alone.
I bumped his head.
Hey, zoom out and the tats don't look too bad.
A naughty magic archer who uses their threads? It's on the list.
I heard naughty. I was like, huh? It's like, oh, a naughty.
I don't know what everybody's thinking, but not copying Naruto. I mean, I am, but I'm not.
I don't know what you mean.
Alright, tentacles have thrown off some of my shading, but that's fine.
How dare you?
I'll slap a coat of paint on it.
Feels like I've spent more time today, like, trying to pacify the kid than I have doing anything else. Makes me sad. Makes me
It's
sad.
frustrating.
Yeah. Wild swings from completely distraught to totally fine. I wonder if his tummy hurts or something. I don't know. Oh, he's supposed to have green eyes. But if he's got a skull mask on, how would you... I'm just going to do this. I'm always amazed by how much just like a little bit of a lighter color can pump something up.
I know, right?
Oh my god.
Just like a very little bit of color in general.
Yeah. Fish. Fish goes in the dump truck. Naughty bowstring. Oh, that reminds me. I went shooting with my bow this weekend,
Yeah.
which was nice. It's nice to just be outside. And,
Yeah.
it's been a long time since I like really sat down and played with my bows. And it's like I should get back into this. And I want to learn how to. When I was younger, I made my own bowstrings and stuff. I'd love to do that again. It's just something like I should relearn those things.
Yeah. I'm glad you had time to do that. Enjoy yourself.
Need to find more babysitters.
Said every parent ever.
Mm-hmm.
Victor, move to where Rook lives.
I'll just get a job at Paizo first, and
I mean, they were hiring.
they were.
Oh.
And I slept on it.
I mean, they're usually hiring quite often. I've applied a few times, but I've never ever heard anything back. So who knows? That's the guy that talks shit about us on the internet.
I don't know. I thought you say a lot more good about them than bad.
I think so. Definitely a piezo shill. Can I say shill on Twitch? I don't know.
I think so.
I don't think it's a derogatory term.
Okay.
It's honestly hard to tell right at this point.
I mean, it could be used as an insult, sure, but so can anything if you add enough inflection and intent behind it.
Algorithms are getting wild. I forget what I watched a short the other day, and for reasons I could not fathom, there was a word that got censored out with a bleep. And I can't remember what the word was because it was such a mundane word. But they're like, I was like, how on earth is that
I think there's
offensive enough that the algorithms flagged it?
I think some of that is due to TikTok and shorts being ported over to YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because like in you kind of answered your own question there. It's because it's algorithmically based. So if it finds words, and when you write words down, not just say them, the algorithm scans that more. So when you're doing things like auto translate or auto captioning, which a lot of people are with their shorts, that all gets scanned in. So you have to censor out everything you think is bad, right? Because the algorithm can just decide like, oh. And like I've run into that before with like making videos about weaponries and guns and things.
Yep.
All tabletop based, but because the word is in there, the algorithm flags it, and they just get kind of suppressed. They don't get as suggested as much as they would otherwise.
Yeah, and I know it's algorithm nonsense happening, but at the same time, I'm also like, if your AI was as smart as you wanted us to believe it was, this wouldn't be a problem.
I saw a paper the other day about how like AI finally surpasses the Turing test, and I'm like, the fuck it did.
When?
And yeah,
and
it was
which
just
AI?
The article was literally just like, we had two people sit down and talk to two different things. One of them was a person, one of them was an AI, and half the time they picked the AI and thought it was a person. It's like, I guess like that's not really how you would do that.
That's not
test,
academically sound.
Yeah. Like,
and yeah, and also I have spoken to some people that I don't think can pass the Turing test. So like,
yeah.
even if that could hold up academically, it still would not change my opinion of AI.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that lizard folk took a lot out of me. Do I have one more in me? How are you doing, Rook?
I'm exhausted. My ears are ringing.
Yep. I've been drawing for 2 hours. You've been wrangling a child for 2 hours.
My brain is mush.
And drawing in between.
I definitely want to finish this guy up. I'm probably gonna do a little more detail on him, just because I'm probably only gonna get 2 in here. So
Okay.
if you want to do another one,
wanna...
go for it. If you want to take a break, we can also just hang out. That's fine.
Yeah. I'll roll and
you.
see what it gives me. Yeah.
I appreciate you, you and Corvus taking over the stream there.
Yeah. I mean, when you had a kid, we said we'd do what we could.
I want to make this into one of my video game characters now. It's like
it looks
leafy,
really good.
leafy.
You've got some really subtle highlights on the bones of the skull that like really makes it pop, and it's really cool, especially on the like the really chunky paper.
Yeah, I think the chunky.
I'm quite
paper
jealous of it.
What was I talking to you the other day about that?
I think so.
Yeah, just
We definitely had a conversation about this specific sheet of paper.
it could be. It might have been Corvus though. I'm not sure. Just talking about how like. Yeah. Doug. You know, you cannot. Did you eat one of the dice? Is that why you're upset?
Oh.
I don't think you did.
In the hospital.
You swallowed my clicky clacky math
Nope,
rocks.
there it is. We're good. Okay. Couldn't find it for a second. I got worried.
Reminds me of the Stag Lord from Kingmaker. You could literally take his helmet.
It kind of
Yeah, I
reminds
can
me
see that.
of the Wicker Bone Druids from World
From
of
the Stein-
Warcraft.
Oh.
I was thinking. I just watched a music video about Swedish death metal that had a whole bunch of people with this kind of like overly poofy headdress type thing,
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
and I really like the what is the not Krampus, the other one.
Mary Lloyd.
Yeah, the Mary Lloyd. I love the vibe of the giant horse head on a stick. It's like, that's too tall. It's too tall, and I hate it.
And yet you love it.
The proportions are all fucky.
Yep.
I rolled a 5. It just says currently playing a changeling rogue called Jester the Fool. Is that an actual suggestion?
It sounds like it, maybe. Except it just gives you a name in changeling, huh?
Yeah.
Changeling rogue?
Changeling rogue. Okay. I can do gray alien rogue.
Oh, kid, please don't break that pencil. Thank you. Can I have that one? Can I have that one and give you this?
Get rid of my
I
gesso
know.
there.
It's gonna set you off again. You're gonna be pissed off, but I don't want you breaking my pencils. You can have this one too. How about this and this?
Let's see.
I guess I gotta buy some like baby safe washable markers or something.
What do I want to do for rogue pose?
I don't know. Starlord from Kingmaker.
So what?
I don't know Stag Lord. I read that as Star Lord. But I didn't know Kingmaker well enough.
I think it's one of the bosses of the quest. Maybe one of the early ones?
Here's some art of them.
Oh, cool.
He is Dear Daddy. And I think this is the game asset.
Wow, that's a bit different.
Downgrade?
Yeah.
A little bit of an upgrade.
Why does it have teeth?
I don't know.
In the first module is the end boss. Gotcha.
I mean, the top one has teeth too, kind
Does
of.
it?
It's here I'm gonna like here's a close up of the head. It's a couple of skulls. Like
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
they've mishmashed that mask.
That low poly model's just not doing it any favors.
No.
It's super not. This is a different piece of art.
Weird.
Yeah. Like a saber-toothed tiger mixed with a deer skull on top of it.
And those are deer antler. It's like, I don't know what that guy's... What's going on here?
I was gonna say, if it was moose antlers, we could say he killed a saber-toothed moose lion.
Sure. Hey, Moose Lord.
You are cuddly and cute. Unfortunately for you, you are also made of meat.
Deer are made of meat. People are made of meat. Therefore, I am Deer Lord.
Nah. That's what Sokka says to the baby saber-toothed moose lion that he's about to kill.
Wow. Yeah? You ready for some food now? You calm down? You want some milk? Okay. Hang tight. Move back. Let's go get you some milk.
Let's see. I gotta find a pose for this quickly.
Calm baby is a much happier day. Calm not scream baby is much better. I really like the Anati race video, but the DM that I contacted is D&D, so wouldn't reflavor Thri-Kreen to work with a dollar store Anati. Oh. Yeah, no. Sorry, I read that wrong. Yeah, you can absolutely use the Thri-Kreen. The only thing you're missing out on is the shape changing. Like if you do Thri-Kreen, you're essentially always stuck in the hybrid form, which most people probably would be anyways. So if you do want to do it with 5e, basically just as an action, you can transform, like as a standard action, you can transform into a spider and just roll with that. Yeah, use it as like a polymorph effect. Trying to think if there's... the Kitsune aren't in 5e either, are they?
No, I don't think so.
Trying to think if there are any 5e shape changing.
The only transforming things are the changelings, and I think shifters technically have like a weird half.
Yeah, they like shift into having their claws, right?
Yeah.
So
And,
Moon Druid
like-
homegrown modifications, kind of, yeah. Except with like the Moon Druid, the difference is when you're a Nanati spider, you are just going to be a spider, like. But you should retain your hit points, I believe.
Like a literal giant spider.
Yeah, you're a giant spider. So it's not the same as like transforming into a bear, right? You wouldn't use bear or spider stats. You still retain your stats. You just are a spider. So you gain, basically you can use an action to gain spider climb at the detriment of not being able to hold weapons. Essentially is how that's going to work. So it's more like the hunter's aspect from PF1. Kind of, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I also wonder if you're gonna have to translate a monster anyway. If an Ettercap might be a better fit because they already come with like spider climb.
You could do it that way, like if you want to retain some compatibilities, but like I don't think second edition Pathfinder cares. I'd have to
2E
double check
doesn't.
that.
5e does.
5e does, but that's because of the cost of it, right? Like
Yeah.
you can only transform in your druid form so many times a day, so they give it more of a buff. But it's also there's like the druid transformation versus polymorph is different as well.
Yep. Gesundheit.
You okay? Because yeah, transforming into the spider form, like you retain everything that you are, but all of your gear gets transposed. Remember when we used to talk about druids not using metal all the time?
Yep.
Which 2E got rid of
Yeah.
in the remaster. Because they not brought back, narratively, in lore, brought back the wood plane, but they introduced the not wood, but metal plane.
Yeah. So now there are metal druids.
Yep.
Which immediately reminds me of that short that I shared of the narrative declaration game. The vibes in this place are terrible. There's no pit. There's no pit. Where do the druids mosh?
I was really confused on what you were meaning. I was like, I'm so confused.
Yeah, I don't know if I saw that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Reptoid in Beastry 5. I don't know that one. I think I have Beastry 5. My first option was the Lokatha for my first race. It was highly situational. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the Lokatha. Like they're essentially Murlocs, but like I want to play a Merfolk. If I want to play a water race, I'm gonna play a Merfolk. But you could do the Lokatha, and you could even play a Goblin and just do like a Grindylow. That would be really fun. The Lokatha are a little derp for me, like, and not in a fun way. Derp. They're just.
I like 2E's version of the Lakatha, which they call the Athamaru.
Yeah.
I don't know, they're a little, I don't know, more interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, you could also be a large Athamaru. Pretty neat.
Don't get me wrong, Lokatha are great. If you're gonna play one in 5e, do it. Drink your water. That was a while ago. I already did that.
Drink your damn water.
But yeah, the Lokatha feel a little too. I wish the Lokatha had a little more spice to them. Specifically, like with picking a type of fish and then giving them some cool abilities. That's what I would do if I was gonna play Lokatha. Because they're a little too generic fish people for me.
Yeah, I think part of that is because it was released as part of like a fundraising PDF.
Mm-hmm.
So like they didn't put like it's basically from the same thing where we got the Grung and the Turtles.
Yeah.
So like they're probably never going to go back and add like sub races to them. I don't even know what abilities they have.
My bad pun literally got no response.
I missed it.
Yep.
Yeah, it's because I talked over you. I get it out.
Oh, I didn't even hear you say anything.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it's my bad then. I said so you don't like the Lokatha because they're too watered down.
Oh.
It wasn't worth repeating.
You can leave. Let's see.
And that's the end of the stream.
Yep.
You're welcome,
They
everybody.
have 5e. They have natural armor. They're trained to get proficiency in athletics and perception skills. They have advantage against charmed, frightened, paralyzed, poisoned, stunned, or to be put to sleep.
That's interesting.
And
Do people think fish not
they
eat
have.
sleep?
I don't know if fish sleep.
They do.
I had a moment yesterday when I think I said something about like snakes coughing up their lungs, and Jumperup's like, "The fuck are you talking about?" I'm like, it's a thing. She's like, "No, it is not a thing." I was like, "What?" Turns out, just total mythical bullshit that I learned as a kid. Totally wrong. Who knew?
Though I feel like that's something like maybe a lizard or like some other like amphibian might do.
Sea cucumbers will vomit their lungs out to like fend off predators. But yeah, no. Apparently, it's a very common myth that snakes like because so they can eat bigger things will like cough up their lungs. Total bullshit. They have a really interesting like hole in their mouth to prevent them from choking, and they can breathe with parts of their lungs at a time.
Their larynx literally projects out to the front of their mouth and is connected to the bottom of their jaw.
Yeah, which I think people took as their lungs go out of their mouths, and it's like not right, not quite. But yeah, one of those weird things that you learn in school when you're little and is wrong. So who knows? I probably watched some like documentary that said it once and just took it as faith.
Lakatha also have limited amphibianness. They can breathe air and water, but you need to be submerged for at least at least once every 4 hours to avoid suffocating.
Yeah. That's kind of fun. I think some merfolk have that too, which...
Yeah. I know in Tui the Azure Kedi, who are like humans who are like sort of like flesh orbed into fish people.
Okay. Yeah, Atomic just talked about them too, saying... Go ahead.
Yeah. They have to. It's kind of because of who did it, because there's... Remember when y'all fought the aboleths?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's this weird cursed slime around them. It's basically what happened to the Azure Kedi, but like on a
Permanent.
generational scale.
Got it.
Yeah, because the Azure Kedi are like canonically former slave race of humans that were captured by Aboleth until and like warped until they were what they are today. And then in the new lore, I guess they are for the most part a free species now, but they are still waterbound because of their history.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, please
So
don't
they-
stick my finger in the water bottle. Great.
That it's been like, I think at least a few hours immersed in water.
Okay.
Wow. Aggie almost exploded on me.
Okay, kid. I don't want you just pouring milk all over me.
Hmm.
I'll be right back.
I guess I'd better figure out an outfit for this rogue.
Skin type bodysuit.
Yeah, all rogues wear cat suits, right?
Exactly.
Because everyone wants to be Batman.
Or some sort of Star Trek person.
I really do hate this. That this needs to avoid conflict in the base game. Ugh. I wasn't following what Christopher was saying enough to follow that. Sorry.
Yeah. I think
Is it done? We're done?
kid's finally calming down, but it's being weird. I don't think I can start another one. Did I roll another one? Did I say I was going to start another one?
I didn't hear you roll another one.
Okay, good.
Oh, that's okay. We can...
I'm going to clean this up a little bit.
Okay.
There was something I wanted to add earlier, and I forgot what it was. It was in the other room when I was thinking about it. It was something on, like, related to the Hero Forge thing. Oh, Photoshop. I remember now. Back in, like, 2007, 2006, Photoshop was becoming way more readily available for people.
Yep.
And I remember talking with an industry guy. And one of my friends did this. He took a photo and he slapped a filter on it, and then he put it in his portfolio. And a guy called him out. And he's like, one, I took this picture. Two, I know which filter you used, right? That was blatant plagiarism.
Yep.
But the thing is, like, Photoshop filters are great for what they for what they do, and it's, I think, your job as an artist to find ways to use those tools creatively, right? Like, you're filtering your world through it. So even with Hero Forge, which is, like I said, like kind of a paper doll thing, I think if you can find a really unique and cool way to use it, like, that's novel and worth, like, has worth for just finding cool and unique ways to play with tools. So I don't want to discourage people from using tools like that.
You just got to figure out how to make it transformative.
Yeah, make it your own. Make it your own thing. And I think that really is how you prove yourself as an artist, is just like taking something and doing something really, I don't want to say unique, but novel. Something that is you. So, and like, you and I are using essentially the same medium right now, and our art is different.
Yep.
Right, and that's the beauty of it. So
pretty much the exact same brush.
well, we are using the exact same brush, I think.
The exact same brush on the exact same piece of paper. Exact same color palette. Like,
I think my tablet's a little bigger than yours. Or are you using a screen tablet now? I can't remember.
no, I'm not using a screen tablet.
Okay.
I'm using a tabletop tablet. Yeah.
Yeah. Sea elves, sea ogres, sea trolls. Yeah. That's the thing with, like, Lokatha. I feel like it's one step up from just being a fish, and at that point, just be the fish. Like, like, be a cool sentient fish, or a mer person. But I might just be biased because of Murlocs in World of Warcraft, and I hate them. So I do think Murlocs are interesting, though. And I don't know why they're different than the Lokatha. I'm allowed to have biases.
Yeah.
Yep.
Unfettered bigotry towards fish people. Gilman. That's cool. I like that.
Yeah, that's the Asamara, which is the new name for Lakatha in 2E. So, I don't know, I find them kind of cool.
That one looks really cool. Looks like a pike or something.
Mm-hmm.
They're also like an actually statted out playable species, right? Not
Yeah,
a monster.
not just like a
that
little
everybody
one-off
adapts.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Lakatha are essentially just an enemy with, like, here's the stats for it if you want to try it. Which Pathfinder's done that as well. Like, there's quite a bit of that in the past. So
Yeah.
It's just 2E is because of the way they've worked their feat system for heritage feats and racial stuff, they have to put a lot more work into it in order to make something playable. So
Or they should.
we get a lot less. Yeah, yeah, or they should. So even the stuff that doesn't really have enough feats for us, like it still feels to me like more thought has been put into it than some of the 5e stuff.
Sure.
Maybe that's not fair, but that's what it feels like to me. We have established that I am also a Paizo simp, so
Yep. I will say, like I said earlier, like it's mainly just because how the La Casa came out
Yeah.
in
That
like
makes sense.
a PDF. So
That makes sense.
because it's the same with the turtle. Turtles don't have a lot of stuff, but I think turtles have the added oomph of being like turtle people, and that's cool.
Oh man, the Pathfinder, like, I guess it's not actually turtle people. It's the beast, awakened animal. That's what it is. The awakened animal features. There's some really cool awakened animal features. I would definitely.
I
Look
have
into
not
those.
looked at them like at all.
So, I made a really good turtle dragoon. That was super fun to play. One of them's
I've
like,
never wanted to play like an actual animal, so
yeah.
it's fun, man.
I'm glad that they handled the turtle like species like that. I think the awakened animal just in Pathfinder just as a blanket thing works a lot better for a lot of the like quote unquote furry options that people want
Sure.
in a game. Not to be reductive, but
I think there is a.
yeah, I think it was handled well.
Yeah, I think there's a. How do I say this? Fantasy games blend themselves into wanting to play the monster races for me, and I don't see that very often. I mean, like, people play monster races all the time. That's not what I mean. I mean, like, we see things like the Lokatha in the adventure modules, but like most of the universe is just people, cities of people, right? Maybe a dwarven city,
Yeah.
maybe an elven city, but like there's not a lot of real notable places that are animal based, which like I think is kind of a sad thing. Like I think there should be more.
I think because like in Critical Role, Matt made a city known as like I can't remember what it was like actually called, but it's like a little nickname, the City of Beasts, because it's like where a lot of like minotaurs and bugbears and hobgoblins, goblins, a bunch of like the very monstrous people of the world kind of just like have congregated there.
Right.
And
Matt definitely has a soft spot for the drow.
oh
Yep.
yeah,
And like Minzo Bearzan was that's what it was, right? Like the drow were in charge of it, but it was actually a city full of like bugbears and goblins and different Duergar and stuff that were all enslaved by the drow. So yeah, I don't know. I think Matt Matt Mercer has really pushed that kind of forward of like, yeah, like this is a fantasy world where these things exist. Let's put them in the world. And that's I think I'm into that. So I like that. I like that there are
Same.
creatures, and so like the awakened creatures are they're going to be more rare, but I would love to see more things like the Shuni and stuff popping up just kind of all over.
I didn't know where the Shuni came from. Like what book they came out of.
Yeah, I'd have to look it up. Yeah, I want
I
to
never
normalize
like
the
see
furries.
people like talk about them.
That's where I'm getting at. I think the fantasy world that we've built for this like very much should be full of goblins and dog people and Strix and Owlin I want to see more of that. I want to see that more normalized.
Rat folk everywhere.
They were introduced as part of an adventure module called Extinction Curse.
Too much blue. The scum? Yeah.
Did y'all fight some of them?
Yep.
I like Paizo more than WotC, but I still think 2E doesn't live up to 1E. I think they're definitely different.
Yeah, they're very different.
I don't think I could ever go back to 1E's combat system. But
Same,
I use a lot of stuff from
honestly.
1E. Like
Yeah.
the writing, the way they wrote and the way they design things, I love. So I use a lot of
Same.
1E's equipment and just like overall design theory for like crafting and enemy encounters and stuff. But I really like 2E's actual combat system.
Yeah.
So.
I think also, not to like downplay like your feelings and everything, but I think people kind of forget that 2E is like new, like it's a new system, while
That's
1E was thoroughly based off 3.5.
Technically 3.5,
like-
yeah.
That's what did I say?
No, I was just reiterating, yeah. Technically
Oh.
3.5 compatible. You're correct. So,
And like honestly, they build on 3.5, but it is a different system, and I don't know if that's set in for some people.
sure. 3.5 was wild, but it was good. It was really good. I mean, that's why it was so successful for so long. So,
Also, like
Pathfinder was a really good extrapolation from it. Like,
Yeah.
it made 3.5 better. And now you're right. 2.5 is now, or second edition is a new system. So,
Yep.
there's nothing wrong with going
Like,
back and
built
playing first edition. You can even take
Yeah.
the second edition stuff and roll it into first edition. It's kind of fun. So, don't get too hung up on the system you're playing. Like, make things make sense.
Yeah.
Sometimes giving people advantage in Pathfinder is really fun. Just do it.
Yeah.
yeah. I was so used to like 5e. He's like just like every other ability you get gives you advantage on something, and it's just like almost non-existent in 2e.
Yeah.
Honestly, they obviously don't call it advantage, but it's like
There's a few things to do.
there's not a lot of abilities that do the roll 2 dice, take the higher or the lower.
Yeah.
Those
The-
are during
the-
like fortune effects.
The thing about 2E that I think I can't live without now is the crit system.
Crit system is really nice. I like it a
Yeah,
lot.
exceed the DC by more than 10 hits a crit.
Yep.
And that one's really easy to like implement into older systems, right?
Yeah, because like that's the other thing with talking about like first edition Pathfinder. Like, there's a lot of bad stuff in it that like I
Yeah.
loved at the time, but like, for example, the touch system is really cool. It's a cool concept. In practice, it's not great. Touch AC.
Yeah.
Same
Kind of
thing
game
with
breaking.
God, what's the thing you just said? Crit. Oh, critting. Yeah, confirming your criticals is just, it's really heavy-handed, especially when you can do like a crit farming build, which some people really like doing,
Yeah,
but it becomes a little tedious.
I've done one. Shillelagh crit fishing with the druid is a lot of fun.
Mhm.
Quite
I'm gonna
broken,
roll.
but
Especially when
lot
you
of
can
fun.
attack like 5 or 6 times, and it's just like, okay, I'm gonna roll, and then I'm gonna re-roll, and then I'm gonna re-roll this again, and then I'm gonna double check. No, I think 3 of them did crit, 2 of them hit, but not actually crit. And it's just like, this got too complicated. Just like,
Your turn took 45 minutes of our 3-hour session.
And it's the same. Like another good example of that is like summonings. Summonings are nerfed to hell in
Yep,
second
yep.
edition because in first edition they were broken as fuck. Like
They were so
like I'm a
broken.
necromancer with 25 summoned creatures that all get to make 2 attacks every turn. It's like, uh-oh. Like, this is going to take a while. So, yeah, it is what it is. I like them both. Pathfinder, I love it, regardless. Paizo is great. Paizo, hire me. I don't know what I'll do, but I'll do something.
Yeah. I still like first edition Pathfinder better than 5e. And my brother and one of his friends have like a permanent 1e table. There's no reason why you can't play the older system instead.
Yep.
If it works better for you.
Yep. How you doing, Druid?
I'm going slower than I thought I would, but it's fine. We can wrap up whenever.
Okay. I think I'm about done, so I just didn't want to kick you out if you're still working.
Yeah, I've got the face in, which is the most important part. I suppose I should do get these hands in
Maggie just
correctly.
exploded on it. There we go.
It's these hands.
Dun, 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 dun. I gotta look up how bowstringing works again. Because I was looking online at some old bows, and they're like, oh yeah, these bows go from 20 to 45 pounds. And it's like, what do you mean 20 to 45 pounds? What?
Probably.
And so, like, the bows I have are like 45 pounds at 52 draw length. And so it's like, are you expecting that at 20 it's just only being drawn back like a third of the way versus 45? Or do I need a longer bowstring? So I need to figure out why you make a bowstring as long as you do, and then look into that a little bit. But I don't remember. Don't remember my 4-H. Or was that
I
so
haven't
kid?
heard that. I haven't heard that in such a long time.
4-H?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I know what it is. It's been such a long time since high school.
Kid, off. I don't want you standing on that. You're gonna fall and hurt yourself. Yeah, you're gonna hurt yourself.
Mm.
That was the fuck you, daddy.
I do
Screen.
what I want.
Don't tell me what to do. I'm 1 year old. I know what's going on. My chair is like, my office chair is here. I took the arms off, so it's not a good example. It's got the legs with the wheels and my desk. He will come over here and he'll stand on the chair leg, which puts his head right here so he can see on the desk, and then he'll bite the desk. And it's like, kid, if you like get bonked or slip, you're just gonna like knock all your teeth out. So I don't like him doing that, and then he gets mad at me when I don't let him do that. So fun.
I think I've said it before, but I'm gonna say it again. Your kid is me. You're raising me.
Great.
You describe things he does that are weird, and I'm like, oh yeah, I did that.
I knocked all my teeth out once.
I didn't actually, but
I did.
I did bite on shit constantly.
I fell off a tractor.
Ooh. Sure, that was fun.
This kid's about to throw a fit.
I don't remember.
I think we're gonna call it there. Thanks for hanging out today, everybody. Thanks for putting up with everything. Sorry we only got 2 done. We'll be back on Friday. Hopefully get some more done then. It is 2 o'clock. I probably should make some kind of food. And then we'll be back. I'll probably just be around today working on game stuff. So if people want to hang out in the Discord, you're welcome to. If not, I might go for another walk just to get him out of the house. Yeah. You like that kid? As soon as I say I'm done, you're just like, great.
Good for you.
He's looking at the
Cool.
OBS screen. Okay. That's all I got. Thanks for hanging out. Stay happy, stay healthy. Keep your dust on the table. We'll catch everybody on Friday. Have a good week. Bye.